A lot of people think, if I stand up for myself, I'm being a badass. Let me tell you what's badass. When you have 3 children, no babysitter, and you have to take them all to an audition, where you have to set up the corner of the audition office like a preschool. You don't get more badass than that. Hello, InStyle. I'm Niecy Nash, and I'm what? A badass woman. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, and I always had a way with words. I didn't know comedy was a gift because I got pinched in church for, telling jokes. I got in trouble because my report card said talks too much. I didn't know comedy was a thing until my mother was suffering. My only brother was murdered the day before my 22nd or 23rd birthday. When my mother was in a depression after my brother's murder, after having been shot herself some years prior, she got into bed and said, "I'm never getting back out." And I said, "What can I do? What do I do?" And I began to perform at the foot of her bed every day, because if I didn't know anything else, I knew I could make my mother laugh. As I was performing for her one day, I heard a voice as audible as my own say, "Niecy, there are a lot of people suffering. Go outside and spread it around." And I went outside. I couldn't get hired for any dramatic roles. And I went outside and I said, "My name is Niecy Nash and I'm funny." And the industry said, "Yes, you are, little girl. Come here." The very first professional audition I ever did was for a movie called Boys on the Side, starring Whoopi Goldberg and Drew Barrymore. And there was also a very young Matthew McConaughey in it. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have a manager. All I had was an 8x10. So I go to read the copy, and I'm in the room full of 15 people. I read it, and the director goes, "Thank you." And I go, "You're welcome." And he goes, "Thank you." And I said, "Don't mention it." And he said, "Thank you, you may go." I said, "Oh, y'all are dismissing me. Well, did you pick me? Are you gonna let me do this?" And he was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Well, I told the guy when I called that I got a baby at home." And they were like, "Dear, you're going to have to leave." And I said, "You're gonna make me leave and not tell me that I got the job? Shame on you. Shame on you. I'm telling on everybody in this room, y'all shouldn't do people like that." So when they finally called me and told me that they were offering me the job, I was shocked. I was a whole mess. But I got the job. Yay!
Stop, in the name of the law. Hey, you, come here, in the name of the law. You know what I'm saying?
Reno 911. When I got the audition, it wasn't even real. It was an untitled sketch show. And when I got a call that says, "Do you do sketch?" I was like, "Of course." And then I called my friend Big George and said, "What the hell is sketch?" I never heard of any of these things. But my friend Big George broke it down to me and told me what it was. And I was like, I got this. I wasn't the most seasoned. I wasn't the most prepared, but I was the most comfortable in my skin. And I trusted my gift. And that's what made room for me to be able to do 6 seasons and a movie and now a reboot on Quibi. I went out for a lot of comedies. Although how I saw myself on the canvas of my own imagination was as a dramatic actress. Then one day I had a team meeting, called everybody together, and they were like, "Hey, what are we doing here?" And I was like, "I called you all here to reintroduce myself to you because I know you thought you knew me. Hey, but I done changed." Which led to them getting me an audition for Getting on HBO.
You had me rubber stamping forms for you. You literally had me doing it. There's a rubber stamp in your desk. Show him the rubber stamp.
It just lets me know that how you see yourself is the most important thing, not how other people see you.
Guilty.
When it comes to the story of the Central Park Five, who I lovingly call the Exonerated Five. I was familiar with this story well before. I was just obsessed with the injustice. So by the time I found out it was becoming a series and Ava DuVernay was directing this, let me tell you what, I sent her a text message, I sent her a tweet, and then I slid in her DMs on Instagram. And I said, hey girl, hey, I don't care if I'm just the court stenographer in the corner typing up the trailer. I have to be in this project because I have held space in my heart for these boys who I never knew. And I was able to be a part of it. I feel like I'm forever changed. Guess what she is now? Officially, guys, not just an actor, she's a director. That was my Oprah impression. I actually have directed an episode of Claws, which was super fun because I feel like I was born to tell people what to do. And my director's style is to direct you in private, so I will have a word with you in your ear. But I praise you in public. Beautiful. That's it. Loved it. Circle it. We are experiencing tough times, but do you decide to find the silver lining? Do you decide to make the best out of a bad situation? Do you decide to seek joy in places that you know it exists? And I'm not a person who doesn't feel what I feel. And sometimes those are hard moments. I give myself permission to feel what I feel, but what I will not do is stay there. I get up over and over and over again. The battlefield is in your mind. And once you decide you're going to do something, your will follows. My best badass advice would be to walk in your truth, because that is where all the fruit is going to be. If it's hard to do, if it's painful to do, if it's scary to do, you're welcome. Because that is the place that grows you and ultimately stretches you and ultimately makes you better. Because you stood flat-footed in your truth.